On the table today at SquirrelStampede, you may have guessed it, 3 giant robotic dinosaurs that transform and combine into a giant Transformers Legacy United Magmatron. I wonder if those are the same 3 dinosaurs that chase me on my afternoon walks through the park. So Magmatron was more from the Transformers Beast Wars universe Neo. That's a side I do not typically see, so it's pretty new to me, even though this is a very older scale dude from 40 years of Transformers. I mostly brought him onto the table today though because of the 3 dinosaurs that combine into a giant robot. You don't get better than that. So follow along as we learn about these awesome robotic dinosaurs, transform an awesome bot, and discover some really weird looking things.
SquirrelStampede!
Oh my.
Please like,
Share, and Squirrel Live.
It's Hasbro's Generations, Transformers Legacy United, Beast Wars Universe Magmatron. Did I say everything right? I ordered and picked up mine over at Hasbro Pulse. I assume you could find also on shelf depending on your Hasbro Transformers assortment. Commander class with 3-in-1, Rexy, Birdie-Zor, and Loch Ness. Forgive me, I just don't know the lore on this one, but I am betting that 90% of SquirrelStampede here does not know either. And if you'd like to share away in the comments. A little bit better angle of what you'll see inside. 3-in-1 combo for Magmatron, the Emperor of Destruction. Let's free him then from the confines of this box. 40 years, art, amazing. This is Magmatron's rare alt tied up in box mode. Very dangerous, very dangerous. I did not expect him to be built in box or into robot mode combined. I assumed I'd start with Dino. Guess we'll go backwards. Alright, I'm having great difficulty comprehending what I am seeing here. It's kind of difficult going right to the big guy without understanding all the smaller components that build him up. It's like a washing machine of totem poles, garage shelf furniture, and a strange dinosaur pool theme park at the same time. I don't know what's going on with this dude. So I kind of just want to rip him into pieces so I can understand him more. I mean, this is just triumphantly weird. I like the little wings up top for flight. And he's got tails, all sorts of tails, a double tail system, along with how many knees and torso arrangements. So let's see if I can tear this apart. I don't know, I don't want to hurt him because he's just out of the box fresh. But I kind of want to see all his individual parts. So let's break him back down. Oh my, and the instructions. How do I get myself into these things? What triple paneled madness. Alright, I've now broken them down into their basic components, which really helps me understand these guys a little bit more. We'll start with Fly Biscuit. She was the most easiest to understand without instructions. Fly Biscuit, or Skysaurus, is a Pteranodon Pterodactyl, and forms the upper wings and headpiece of Magmatron. And you can find his headpiece down underneath her belly somewhere. And that's gotta be the best party trick I've ever seen. So unlike the other two, I didn't have to fumble through instructions with her. I just got her up and standing pretty quick. And she's surely a standing pterodactyl.
What?
And she's surely a standing pterodactyl. More so than a level-headed one, but you can get her in both positions. Not really void of a tail there. It's kind of stumpy. I'm kind of wondering if I did something odd there. This brings me back, though, the old Predacon Spark logo in a nice translucent purple bubble. That was always a nice touch, aside from the heat reveal insignias. And you can store Magmatron's mini blade daggers onto her wings. Those would have been a nice back tail too, though. She's got good dactyl paint sculpt. Look at each teeth is so vibrantly sharp. And I imagine she could swoop down and get some fish pretty easily. This is a good time to note that none of these dinos have alternate smaller robot modes. They are all beast. Just the dino or the pterodactyl or the sea biscuit will transform into the components that go into the larger robot. So no smaller robots. I think this one turned out really fun. I'm glad I broke them down to components to understand them better. And next up, Sea Biscuit. So Sea Biscuit here, or Seasaurus, Seasaurus, excuse me, not Seasaurus, but Seasaurus. I wonder if you looked up a Seasaurus if it would help you come up with other name types. But Seabiscuit here was pretty complicated. I'd give her an engineering law degree of 10 out of 10 in her underbelly and what's going on inside there. Maybe we'll take a peek in just a second. Seasaurus actually first finally reminded me of Magmatron. I do now remember this character, especially in toy form, because in toy form the original vintage had 100 million appendages to do this headpiece, this head and neck piece. Looks like they broke it down to 4 now, 4 main components. The original had almost 8 or 9 segments, and it was one of the greatest long-necked Loch Ness Monster Transformers you could ever imagine. However, this is a good compromise. It makes it stronger. If there's too many appendages, she's just going to fall apart, and there's plenty here to get some pretty good movement in here. Each joint has rotation and hinging and arm movement. You got to play around with it. Unfortunately, there's some hollowness to one of the sides, so you kind of want to try to position to hide those, but it's working pretty well. It's pretty sturdy, and I like sturdy over weak. That body, though, I can't believe I got her back into position because there's a lot of things going on hidden inside. She's kind of shelled together. I don't know why I keep calling them she, by the way, so I'm probably off on that. You can see a slight bit of color there, though, a little bit of more aquamarine up on top of the Squidward algae green from below. And like Flybiscuit, Seabiscuit here also has some really nice looking teeth. So a quick spy here, let's break her apart, lift up this neck head, and we should be able to unshell this thing. And so you can see the engineering is quite amazing. This goes on to build the shield of Magmatron, whereas this section will open up and go on to build Magmatron's arms. This piece here is probably the most spinny, hingy thing I've ever worked with, and was quite a bit of fun once I figured it out. And this would be Seabiscuit's party trick. What? And finally, the dinosaur we all know and love, Landbiscuit. Or Landasaurus? Landsaurus is what they're calling it. To start, it has that great Predacon purple, although maybe a little darker than, say, the Predacon purple we all know and love. There are certainly some similarities to these two in the colorness and purpleness and dinosaurness of the Beast Wars universe. Out of the 3, maybe the hardest to get into dino mode. I'm still having a little bit trouble getting this piece in this back tail section to clamp up just right. It's a secondary piece that goes into the hilt of the sword for Magmatron. I just couldn't really punch it back there very well. Besides from some of those panels not fitting, a pretty good looking dino. What would you say? I wouldn't say T-Rex. I'm kind of thinking more Allosaurus, but maybe not. It's got kind of like this back spine going on down there. It's a little slimmer than a typical T-Rex, so I can't really say T-Rex, an Albertosaurus, a Tarbosaurus, or maybe we'll just call her Landbiscuit. Oh, there we go with the her again. Some fun detailing about her. She's got a really cool rigidy Power Rangers dino back spine going there. I think I know a ranger who will team up really well with her. She's pretty sturdy, stands nice and tall, articulated up there at the shoulder, hips, then down to the knees, then down to the hip ankles, which do rotate. Oh, that just looks painful. Of course, tiny little forearms, opening and closing mouth, kind of tight there, not much there. Oh, and a waggy tail. I like the waggy tail. And that does hide one of the swords of Magmatron. Ooh. Oh! So I so wish they packaged these together like so. Understanding them in their basic beast components sure makes this a lot more easier to understand. Pretty good scale of a group too. I'm looking at about, 18 inches across right now and about 8 inches tall. Filling up the table pretty well. Alright, now we can go back into Magmatron mode. I'm not going to transform this into the higher specifics just because it's a little bit clumsy and kind of hard to get the camera in there. So I'm just going to transform really quick again. Don't forget the head's in there. This one breaks apart into the shield, then arms and shoulders. And T-Rex here is going to break apart in all sorts of ways. Usually fold down the belly first, then get it to stand in position. You can already kind of see Magmatron's legs there. This is very similar to the original toy, by the way. And then if you can just kind of do some things to flip things down, you're going to start getting him to bend up over, look, something like this. Alright, now we are leveled up. I can understand this guy so much more now. Getting to know the basic dinos first certainly brings this guy into full focus. And there may have been a few chores outside a box that I may have missed originally that caused it to look so funny. One primary detail is you have to get Seabiscuit right over the top of his left shoulder. I don't believe it was packaged that way. It's really fun to see Seabiscuit, Land Biscuit, and Air Biscuit's heads right up top there with Magmatron's robot head in between. So I'm now finally feeling the construction of this, and I'm in full awe. He's standing full on 3-in-1 dinosaur combiner. You don't see that every day. Standing approximately 11 to 12 inches tall, depending on where you mark these little claws up on his arms. You've got a lot of positioning fun, especially with these wings up top for flight mode. There's great shoulder and elbow arm movement. His paws are going to be able to grasp some things here in just a moment. And his thunder thighs are super sturdy. That's often a problem with the combiner is, will they have enough stability in those legs to hold him up? And in this case, yes. And it was kind of cool how these pistons, levers, and flanges tucked into his dino legs and then pulled out and then fitted together in a way of giving extra structure. So I like that a lot. Maybe the only thing that is really odd is the color choices. And this is a Predacon thing though. But the clashing of colors with the red and pink pterodactyl down with the Squidward green Seabiscuit, and then a deep purple-white Tyrannosaurus. I mean, wow, don't invite a Predacon to a muted family photo picture day. And looking at his torso, I think he gained a couple extra pterodactyl claw arms. For a combiner of this scale, I'm just very satisfied how everything kind of tucked together, pieced together. I'm not finding anything that's just really loose or flangey. Yeah, there's a little bit of back action going here. He can wag his tail if he's excited, I suppose. And, well, you know, Seabiscuit has a lot of things hanging, but really, he's just fun. He's an immensity of colossity, and he will work really well in your Beast Wars collections. Alright, well, let's arm him up. We've got his shield, half a Plesiosaurus shield, and trying to figure out, oh, on the sidearm, he's got a post hole connection point, so that'll hold that on pretty tightly. His sword is a little bit weird. Because they're using these rubbery, translucent, explosive pieces here, it's got a lot of give, and so, I don't know, we might have a little trouble with it. This piece may feel a little clumsy. It goes in clumsy into the Rex and it goes clumsy into his hand. Okay, that's okay actually. It's a little bit floppy, but it adds even more to this insanity, who is known as Magmatron. Can't believe I never really got into this show. I mean, a dinosaur 3-in-1 leader, just so cool. And he's holding those weapons up pretty sturdily. Again, I'm impressed with the structure, not really tipping or anything weird, causing stability problems. And of course we have the other weapon arrangement. We can take these off if he lets me. And we have smaller daggers that fit on into these hand holes. I almost like that a little bit better than the shield and mega sword combo. I think this works a little bit better. Less junk to carry around. So wow, what an honor it has been known to get a hold of this Magmatron. I ordered it almost like 6 months ago. Almost forgot about it, and then it just kind of appeared this week. So if you really like your Magmatron and want him to do some other things, guess what? There's another alt mode. What? Yes, just when you thought after spending hours and hours trying to figure this guy out, okay, maybe not hours, like say 20 minutes each piece, Magmatron's dinos all form together to form Magmasaurus. This feels like something torn from Power Rangers, doesn't it? So I gotta figure out this now. Oh man. Just when I got this guy all together, but one thing I'm noticing, after I'm figuring him out, he's not as complicated as he looks. I think after a short time of play, you're really gonna figure him out. So let me see if I can tear him apart and get him into the alt mode of the Magmasaurus. Okay, the alt mode. This looks like one of those things that shouldn't have been done, but maybe has been done a little bit better in animated mode. What sort of car wreck did Magmatron get into now? So he's combined on up into the Magmasaurus, and it's a kind of like a quadrupedopodian in a way, although maybe backwards. You got the T-Rex up front, which was pretty much unchanged in transformation. You just lift up this panel here, and then slide him back into Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit's arms then become the legs, and Seabiscuit's tail becomes the other side of the head. Then for fun, Skysaurus just decides to lay down on the back and ride with him. I'm trying not to laugh right now. I think Skysaurus gets the best setup here, just kind of leans back, goes on for a ride. Where the Magmasaurus fails though, is I think it would have been better had they celebrated the front end here. If this was the front end, kind of more sauropodian, And then maybe the T-Rex just kind of like hung his head down a little bit if I can. I don't know if I can now. It's a little stuck there. If this was the front entrance...
What?
Did not sound appropriate at all. This was the front side. I think I would have preferred this because it just would have felt more sauropod. A podosaur. Either way though, Fly Biscuit on the back is just cracking me up right now. So the Magmasaurus mode, this might be the only time in history I will ever have this in this mode again. It is just so ridiculous. Construction wise, I will give it pretty sturdy. Seabiscuit back there really locked on tight. Skysaurus up here, he's a little bit sleepy. You can lean him back if you wish. And well, Landosaurus really didn't do anything for this madness. So if you want something kind of haunting and really ridiculously looking, there you go. That's the alt mode of Magmatron, the Magmasaurus, everyone. So now I gotta decide how I'm going to display this one. Obviously not in this condition. Landry, how did you get up there? I'll need to take it apart, but I'm torn between either dino modes or this fantastic combiner robot mode. I feel like it might be more fun to leave it in dinosaur components because that's 3 toys versus 1. But I don't know, I really kind of like the look of Magmatron all built up. I think it would be fun to sub these guys in at Jurassic Park occasionally, and you would never know that they are Transformers. Of course, you might guess that that's a Transformer. The good news is the more I fidget with these off screen, the easier they get. At first, I was almost going like, this is a level 12 out of 10 difficulty in transformation, like way up there. But the more comfortable I get with them, the more I say about a 6 or 7 in transformation. They team up really nicely to one another in dino form, don't they? The color there looks less distracting as 3, and that might be a good display option right there, without the color explosion you get with Magmatron. It's a little more subtle with them just standing. Oops, almost forgot Land Biscuit's larynx. Man, these guys are just so cool. I'm having a lot of fun positioning them in dino form. Dino form's the best. But I'd like to see one more time Magmatron, one more time. Let's see if I can attempt this in high speed. And Magmatron one more time in Emperor of Destruction mode. Much easier the 3rd or 2nd, 4th time. A couple extra details I had missed too earlier was you can extend the heels even farther for stability. So if you did not flip those out before, there's even more stability there. And if you wish to have less of a noodly weapon, you do not have to use all these extension pieces. You can place his sword just right into the hilt there. That's a little bit stronger, I like that. Overall, what a combiner build. I recommend for any dinosaur fan. You don't really need to be a Transformers Neo Beast Wars fan to figure this one out. This one for me fits more in as a dinosaur collector. Having a 3-team dinosaur combiner master robot is just pretty sweet. So you can seek this one out as either a Transformers Beast Wars fan or just a general dinosaur fan. By the way, here we go again. There is like a tiny, tiny spider on my table. Is that Black Arachnia? Did someone shrink her? There she is. She's so tiny. Oh, under Magmatron's foot! Under Magmatron's foot! Look out, look out, look out! And there you go with the Transformers Beast Wars Neo Universe 3-in-1 Dino Transformers Legacy United Magmatron bot. Wow, that is so much to say. How did I even get there? What a bot to see. Something for everyone. Something for dinosaur fans, something for Transformers fans, something for animals that combine awkwardly fans. If you liked today's video, please give us a squawk, squirrelibe, squamment your favorite Beast Wars character, maybe that we have not seen before at SquirrelStampede. Don't forget we have SquirrelStampede merch out there like t-shirts, water bottles, and a plush Landry. Thank you again for watching. That's what I have to say about that.